I'll be fine in about an hour.
All right.
So, in other words, she's going to be in a better mood when she's done with us. That's what she's saying.
Or maybe
You
just
understand
my
No,
that, right?
that's
soothing
not
voice puts
it.
her in a better mood. Duh.
That's not it.
It sounds like she tried to say it's us, but anyway. Welcome to the threesome, y'all. This is the podcast where the three of us make every attempt to talk about at least three topics each week. If this is your first time finding us, welcome. We are so glad you're here. If you are back for more of whatever this is, we appreciate you, and you are the real MVP.
Look at you.
What'd you say?
Go.
Anyway. Anyway, so I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now.
Are you sober?
God. No, that's not why. It's because I was doing three things at once, and I'm trying to cheer for this stupid ass basketball game at the same time. Anyway. Okay, the sultry voice you will soon hear is our point person, an optimistic realist. We call her Star.
Down with the system.
That's optimistic, yet realist.
And the dulcet baritone that you just heard and are about to hear again is our man in the middle, our voice of reason. We like to call him Magic.
America the Ugly raped my mother, deceived my sister, separated my brother, murdered my children, hung my father. Now they want me to rock the vote. The fuck's why bother?
Uh-huh.
It's Black History 365, right?
Putting up
Right.
my fist.
And bringing up the rear as always, I, of course, identify as the pragmatic contrarian of our group. And they call me Storm.
That's pretty good.
You're really worried about that job, huh?
No, I thought you
I'm
was on
very
sound effects
same.
today.
Anyway. Do we have any foreplay this week?
Yes. 2 people have been convicted in the murder of Jam Master Jay.
Oh, right.
The streets know what that was about. No point in getting into all of that. I think that man made an outstanding contribution to hip hop. He came through my hometown
Absolutely.
quite a few times and helped a lot of people get money. I ain't mad at him. I'm glad after 20 some years they finally locked somebody the fuck up, or both of them.
Right. Right. I mean,
Glad to
apparently,
see that was high on the list of priorities.
I was going to say, apparently, with hip hop crimes, it takes about 20 years for you to get a conviction.
If at all.
You know, if at all. Oh, sorry. ESPN.
It's like we do this every week. Who knew?
I thought I turned my phone off, but apparently I turned the ringer down, but not the notifications. My bad.
Again.
Anyway, what I was saying is I didn't watch the trial. But you know,
Me either,
Hopefully-
but I saw the documentaries.
hopefully they got the
and
right people, because you know how they do. So I mean, hopefully they got the right people, and yeah. Next up, I guess, is that fool that was bragging about being in the car when his passenger shot Tupac. So I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, we got to help one of your people.
Oh yeah. Before we go to that, do we have any more Any more foreplay?
I have one.
No. Oh, okay.
So in Detroit and apparently several other urban um, cities
Areas.
around the country, um, there has been this thing for the past couple of years where people have been overtaxed, have had their own homes overtaxed, and a lot of people have lost their homes due to this overtaxation. Just to let you know, if you know anybody who's been in this situation, uh, the Senate just, well, not just, but recently ruled that if you lost your home and the city sold your home for more than what your property taxes were or what you owed in property taxes,
They got
then
to cut you a check.
they gotta cut you a check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought
I
that was
don't
always the law.
No, it was not. Well, let's just whatever. They It wasn't necessarily being enforced, and you had to go through a bunch of BS in order to get that money. Which I don't understand. You know who the fuck owned that house before you took it. You should just be automatically cutting a check, but that's not how things work. So and even though you still have to go through a little bit of red tape, it seems as if it's been cut down by 75%. So, whatever state you live in, or if you know someone who's gone through that, tell them to check into it and go get your money.
Word.
Okay. Okay.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that happened this week that needs to be mentioned. So
Oh,
I'll
the
just
fashion
move it.
lady from New York passed. What's her name?
Somebody Apple, yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, I know
Yeah,
who you're talking about. The old lady that had the big old bold
Iris.
glasses all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's her name.
Iris. I can't
Yeah,
think of her last name, but
I think it was Apple, wasn't it, or something? I don't know,
Apfel, something like that.
something like that. Yeah, yeah. She passed
Yeah,
away. So
she was over like 100. She lived a good life.
she did, she did. Um, I'm trying to think because I feel like there's somebody else I was missing, but maybe not.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, I don't know.
I swear it gets better, people.
It
Whatever.
does.
Okay. Well, moving along. Yeah, moving along from that. um, let's
Was
go
it really?
to. I'm sorry.
Nothing.
Oh, I thought you were saying something.
I
Okay.
mumbled
So,
something.
oh, so my male friends. I don't know. This must be their season because a lot of them are going through it right now with their significant others. Couple of divorces on deck. And the latest one, and I asked him if it was,
Oh, go ahead.
and I asked him if it was, I asked him if it was okay to talk about this because this has been coming up a lot more lately with men. So he calls me and he sounds a little distraught, and I'm like, "What's wrong?" And he told me that his wife that had served him with divorce papers. They still live together, by the way, but she served him with divorce papers, and
Congratulations, my brother.
he feels like it came out of nowhere, that he didn't see it coming, and I do not understand this at all. According to him, According to him, they had been getting along so much better in the past 6 or 7 months, which was my first clue when he told me that.
When she's happy, it's a
Because
wrap. Go figure.
no, no, that's not it at all. What it was she was telling you everything that was wrong and you didn't take her seriously. So then when she shut up, according to you, y'all were getting along better, but really she had checked the fuck out because that's
I
what
was
women
just getting ready to say that. That's what happened.
Take
Like
the
she
win,
stopped
my
that's what
pushing.
women
brother.
do. That is what women do. We're only going to we'll tell you so many times, and then when we stop telling you, that means that we don't give a fuck anymore.
Yep.
We
Worth
have
it.
decided that we are not going to bang our head against that same brick wall over and over again. We just stop. And
Mhm.
men take this as, oh, well,
She
now we're getting
finally
along.
shut the fuck up. Woohoo!
Yeah, yeah. That's the way y'all take it.
Yes.
And then when the divorce papers come, it came out of nowhere. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. No, it
Mhm.
didn't. She was out of that relationship months ago. You just weren't aware of
Mhm.
it because you weren't paying attention. That's all that
Mhm.
was. Yeah.
And
And I hear this from men
let that
all
headache
the
go bother
time.
another man. Congratulations, my brother.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Hopefully you get to keep most of your stuff, if not half.
Yeah, he won't, but that's beside the point.
I'm
Because
talking
the
shit for
other
the sake
thing
of talking
was,
shit. It's honestly honest,
yeah,
but at the same time, everybody in relationships could stand to do a lot more of paying attention to your spouse and the differences y'all have.
yes, yes, I agree with that. Yes, but I'm just saying, as it relates to men, because I hear this from men all the time that, oh, we were getting along so much better and then it just came out of left field. No, it didn't come out of left field. You just were oblivious to what she had been trying to tell you for a long time. And then she stopped trying to tell you. And at the moment she stops trying to tell you, and this is very critical for men to understand, if
Peace is a
she's
warning sign.
well, what you think is peace is her not giving a fuck. So, I mean, interpretation is everything. Because once she stops giving a fuck, she's not, yeah, she's out. And, a lot of women will stay for another few months, sometimes a few years, while they formulate their exit strategy. But that's all it is. Make no mistake. That is what it is. So, yeah.
Conflict resolution,
Any,
people. Try it. Understand, be
uh,
understood.
so, have you ever been in a relationship that you thought ended, seemingly out of nowhere?
I've been in ones that went bad out of nowhere, and I'm pretty good at. I don't think anybody's ever broken up with me. I think I pretty much left everybody that I was messing with.
Okay.
So it was never.
Star.
I've had
Star.
arguments along the way. Like I truly understand what you're saying, and you are correct in what you're saying. I've seen that happen. Like I've watched relationships fall apart, but I ain't gonna wait for you to get up the fucking with a I don't know willingness to actually walk out the door. Like, nah, go. You got it.
Hello?
Hey,
Star.
Yeah, I no. Here's the thing. People don't understand that a lot of times, you know, they're like, oh, the person's like, always talking about this, always talking about what's wrong, always trying to, they seemingly always, bitching and fussing. But the thing is that that person is in their own way trying to fight for whatever it is that you guys have, you know.
or misery loves company. But go ahead.
I mean, but
I mean,
usually
sometimes, yeah,
that's usually present from the beginning,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah,
um, or shortly thereafter. But if you have somebody who is always, always addressing this or always addressing that and want to talk about this, that means that there's a problem and that it's not settling, it's unsettling for that person and they're trying to fix whatever it is. But you're taking it like, oh, they're getting on my nerves, they're nagging, they're this, they're whatever. They always have
right,
something, judgmental or whatever to say. And it's not even that that person is trying to be that for the most part. Again, they're fighting. And then once, it seems like everything's going smooth, like, wait a minute, they're not, they're not fussing about this or they're not fussing about that, whatever the case may be. That's like you said, they're in the process of checking out or have checked out. They're making their exit strategy. And, once the pieces have fallen into place in the way that they deem, necessary, or they just get tired of it, you know, you won't hear anything and then it'll be all of a sudden in your mind. But it's like, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. My 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 ex husband, he expressed concerns about several things that, you know, um I kind of just, I mean, to be honest, blew off.
Hmm.
And it's not that I didn't care that he was upset about certain things. It's just in my own ill-equipped mind at the time, I just was like, well, it'll fix itself or it'll get better. Or, with no effort on my part, of course. Um, but it'll get better or they'll get over it. And it was just like, yeah. And so one day he came home and I used to say that. I used to be like, oh, just out of nowhere, it seemed like things were going smooth. But like you said, at that point, he was just like, you know what, I'm about to do me, and I don't even know that he was making an exit strategy. I think he
Oh,
just
he
got fed
was.
up. Well, I think he just got fed up. I think in his mind, he was pretty much done, but I don't know that he was necessarily making an exit strategy per se.
Yes,
I think one
there's
day
a long time in
he just
between this
came.
ain't working and let me figure out how I could just get the fuck out of here and still maintain a certain quality of
And I'm sure
lifestyle.
that those thoughts crossed his mind. Yeah, I'm sure because they crossed my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I had no plan. And I don't think he did either. I just think one day he was like, enough. You know what I mean? Just enough. And
Yeah.
and that was that.
One of
So
Did you
the
yeah.
feel
things that
blindsided?
I was saying last week about how men are wrong and that we actually don't want a good woman. We really chasing after hoes that feed our ego. Part that I left out of that was that a good woman is going to hold you accountable and expect you to do better, which is not bad
Yeah.
things, but let's face facts, most people aren't ready for that. So if you lost a good chick,
Yeah.
it sucks to be you, Duke. But if you lost a headache, hey. Also,
Most
dating pool,
people,
cesspool. It's not fun out here once you're grown.
no, it's
Yeah.
not. People are set in their ways and yeah. Um no, I mean I did. I believe at first I felt blindsided. One of the things that I just didn't get through my head as a young person that is that, anybody who, I'll say the majority of people who cause you to confront who you are. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, call you
Good,
on your
bad, or
bullshit.
otherwise. They actually care. And that's not how you take that. That's not how
Right.
some people ever take it. I'm not going to even say it's a young thing. But for me, it was a young thing. Just young and didn't want to hear crap that nobody else was saying or whatever, whatever. I'm gonna be me. I'm fine. Um, but as I got older, I realized that a lot of the people that were telling me stuff that I was not trying to hear only were telling me that because they cared and they kind of saw me going, in this bad direction. And they were like, hey, don't do that.
Everybody forward that part to
Um,
your children.
yeah, but it's again, you get to an age where you've spent a few years up under the thumb of your parent or parents, and it's like you get to a point where it's like, oh, I'm 18 or I'm 21 and I'm an adult and I don't want to be told, what to do. I don't want to be controlled anymore. I don't want this and I don't want that. You know what I mean? And so any of it that comes out of a person's mouth, is not going to sound like you're giving me solid advice to help guide my life, to help me make better choices. It's going to sound like you're trying to run my life. Um, I'm not, and what usually comes out of that is, I'm not a kid anymore. I don't need you to tell me this, or I don't need you to tell me that. And it's not even about being a kid. But that's how the majority of younger people take it. Now, some people keep that mentality. You know what I mean? Some people you can never tell anything for their absolute own good. And they're gonna always take it like you're in their business. Or you're trying to run them. And I think that's what happens sometimes in relationships as well, where people begin.
True.
It's like, no, they're not trying to be a nag. They're just identifying issues with either within the relationship or things that they can see in you that are not necessarily healthy practices. And then don't let kids get involved because it gets worse. Because if you're the person who can see that your mate has unhealthy practices, let's say they're a drinker, you know what I mean? And they drink a lot and all they do is come in from work or wherever and they sit up on the couch and, throw back a couple of 40s or, a couple of glasses of some, what do people drink? Martell, I know that's old. I'm telling my age, but whatever. So, where the kids are fighting for their attention. And like, it's hard being that other person watching a child bargain for attention or because that person has a substance abuse, or even if it's not a substance abuse, it could be anger issues, mental health issues, whatever. And you see how not only those issues affect you because you're living it, but you're watching how it affects your kids and your
Yeah.
household. It's
Yeah.
and then when you go to say something to them about it, it's a whole problem.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a whole problem. I went
Right.
off on a tangent, but
We get it.
But no, I mean, yeah, I get the tangent because even with that, like, if someone's talking to you about that and don't talk to me about that, and they keep doing it and you're arguing about it, and then all of a sudden they stop. Like they're not complaining about your drinking no more. They're not complaining about you staying out, until five
till
o'clock in the
3, 4
morning
o'clock in the
anymore.
morning, right? Hanging out
Yeah,
in bad
yeah,
neighborhoods or yeah,
yeah,
just
yeah,
doing stupid
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, but they stop complaining about that stuff, and you're like, "Oh, great, this is wonderful." Yeah,
Right. They finally
and
get it. Like, no, they didn't
right,
really
and
get it. They just checked out.
well, no, that's absolutely accurate. They finally got it that you're not going to change, and they can't deal with it.
Oh, yeah.
There's always
That
that
is what
old
they got.
phrase, you see how hard it is to change yourself. What do you think your chances are of changing someone else?
Somebody else.
Better like who the fuck you got
Well,
as is.
Well, sometimes you like the person you got as is, and then they change,
That happens too.
and then you're trying to tell them, hey, you're doing these things that I do not like, and they're ignoring you, and then they're like, okay, well, I'm not going to keep getting ignored, so you know what, I'm out.
Yeah.
And once you have made the decision, and I'm here to tell you, once you've made the decision that you're out, there's no more arguing with somebody that you're done with.
No.
Which is why we used to have a friend who, or we still have a friend who's a hothead, and the man that she eventually went on to marry, every few months there would be a big blow up, and she would be, cussing him out, grabbing her stuff. And then she'd be like, oh, well, I need to go over there. Why do you need to go over there? I need to get all the shit that I took over there. Oh, and my response was always, oh, so you're not done.
Right, because when you're done, you don't care
When
about.
you're done, yeah, you know what? I bought that
Go
lamp.
back and get your stuff as an excuse.
Yeah, you know what? Keep it. Keep it. Because I'll just get me a new lamp. That's okay. Like when you're done, you don't give a damn about any of that.
Nothing. If it's not some pictures or papers that you can't replace.
Right.
Yeah. Something that's very irreplaceable. But if it's clothes, I need to go back and get my shoes. I need to go back and get my coat or my whatever, my tapes, my CD. You know what? I'll buy some more. I don't give a. Like,
right.
It's just an excuse for you to go back and,
and get into it.
Person. Yeah. Because when you're done, you don't care.
Yeah. At all.
The opposite of love.
I remember. I wasn't even with this dude a long time.
Indifference.
Apathy is the opposite of love. Yeah.
I wasn't even with this one dude for a long time at all. But I had ended up leaving some bag or something over his house before I had went out of town. And I really like that bag. You know how women are about their person. I really like that freaking bag. But anyway, I had went out of town and he did something while I was out of town that when I came back and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm done. And I think it was a year later, he ended up texting me and was like, you probably don't even remember, but you left some kind of bag or whatever in my closet, and I had put it in the back of my closet and I forgot about it, and when I'm getting ready to move, I found the bag. Do you want it? I was like, I didn't forget about that bag. I just wasn't willing to see you to come and get it.
Right. Right.
I just, yeah, no.
Are we feminists or what?
Listen, when you done, you know when you done.
I know this very well.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
You do.
I'm tired of your shit. I wish you would change and all of this other stuff. Because if you're still arguing with somebody on some level, you care for whatever the reason is, right? But
precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely.
No.
But you're not. That's what I'm saying. You're not going to argue. You're not going to waste the energy to argue with somebody that you're done with. You're just not.
I'm not going to waste a whole lot of energy arguing with somebody I ain't done with. So if I'm done with you for real, I'm
right.
I'm so serious. I don't do the arguing thing. I don't. I just don't.
That is my so thing sexy.
Is, I do not. I never, ever, never have I ever done the arguing thing. I had one person that I went back and forth with for a couple, and I was just like, this is not me. It doesn't feel good. And we're only a couple of years apart. We're both adults. We should both have the capabilities to communicate with each other what's wrong, or how we feel, without all this freaking arguing, that's always been a thing with me. I think arguing with someone is just very, very childish.
Waste of time and energy.
It is because nobody's hearing anything. And here's the thing. For me, now, I stay away from arguing because I'm not gonna lie, right? Um, you say something to me, um, that's kind of childish, or you hurt me or whatever, and like and I say, okay, you know what, let me step away. And a lot of times when you in the middle of argument, people don't want you to step away. They come chasing after you like they're a kid, like, oh, let's talk about it, whatever. I'm going for the jugular at that point. And as
Right.
immature as that may sound, you're probably gonna want to be done with me after we
Mhm.
argue. Um,
Oh, well. Well, first of all, I mean, my my mouth. I got a mouth on me. Okay, so if I tell you, and like arguing with people out of anger is not something that I do. Like
yeah.
like I'll debate you on facts, on merits, but if we're arguing with each other out of anger, I don't like to do that. And because I get so mad, I'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, all right, let me walk away. What I hate is when people are like, don't walk away from me. You stay here and talk to me. Now I'm not responsible for what comes out of my mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like you. I will go for the jugular. And
Mm-hmm.
and I know a lot of words. And I know how to form those words that are going to cut you as deeply as possible because
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad in the moment.
And I
And
don't like being mad. I don't get mad
I don't
easily.
like it. Right.
Um, I don't get mad easily. I get upset, but mad is a whole nother level of things.
Yeah.
Um, and I
Yeah.
can
Well,
still
I
keep
told
a
you
pretty
why.
cool head about upset.
Yeah. Well, I told you why I don't like to be angry,
Mm-hmm.
because of the incident that, I was like, I had promised myself I'm never going to be that angry again. So I tried very
Mm-hmm.
hard not to be angry. So when I feel myself getting to that point, or, when I feel somebody taking me there, I try to
Mm-hmm.
like leave the situation.
Yeah.
Because
And a lot of times people won't let you leave, or they'll
yeah.
attempt to try not to let you leave. And yeah, that's never a good
Oh
idea.
yeah.
Let give people a cool off opportunity to
Yeah.
cool off.
Yeah. Please.
All right.
Okay. So next.
Oh, I get to participate in my episode?
Oh my goodness.
30 some
Stop
minutes
it.
in. Yeah. Anything else y'all gotta get off your chest? I
I
love
guess
this
that
fucking
was
podcast.
needed. Don't be laughing at us.
I'm
What's
not,
wrong
I'm
with
laughing
you?
at my life.
Wow.
Hey, sometimes you have to be aware that you're going to look back at things and laugh and just speed up the process.
Mm. We'll continue.
All right. On a lighter note, I'm sure you don't care, Star.
Ah,
Storm. According to Stephen A. Smith, it's LeBron's fault the dunk contest sucks. Do you agree?
No, the dunk contest started to suck long before LeBron James got there.
Nah, I think
Yeah.
Zach LaVine has some
You,
good wins. There's been some decent dunk contests since LeBron got in the
well,
league.
yes, but you know whose fault it was? And I hate saying this because
I know who I'm gonna
because
blame,
because
but
this is a player that I actually liked a lot. Uh, the problem who ruined the dunk contest was Spud Webb. There, I said it.
that's
No, I'm
interesting.
serious.
What does
I'm
Spud
serious
do?
and
because
that's back when I used to watch basketball. So I will say yes. I was not interested much in the dunk contest after Spud. I wasn't.
and that's because now all these 6'8", 6'9" guys that are dunking suddenly weren't as impressive. Like,
Yeah.
of course, you can dunk. You're 7 foot tall. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, so after that, it just
Dang.
wasn't the same. I mean, there were a couple
Yep.
here and there that were
Joker
pretty
can barely
good.
dunk.
Well,
Yeah.
but I'm just, yeah, but I'm just saying, that's what it was. It was
Yeah.
after Spud Webb that, first of all, you had to be kind of a smaller guy to win. You couldn't be a bigger guy to win anymore, that won anymore. You had to be, like a guard or something. And, you know, I don't know. Like, there were a couple of really good ones in there, like Vince Carter was in there. And, there was a few, but for the most part,
Okay.
after Spud, once we saw Spud, we felt we had seen it all, I think. So
As a truly mediocre basketball player but great dunker, since LeBron James came into the league, I've been very adamant at no point in his career could he have ever won a dunk contest, and I'm sure he's aware of that. If you don't believe me, you watch a LeBron James highlight reel. It's the same 5 dunks his whole fucking career. So I'm not going to blame it on
okay.
LeBron. I'm blaming the judges. Every year, I'm sitting there looking at a panel of people who at least 3/5 of them have never dunked in their life. Why are you giving a fucking opinion? And I also blame, what is it, the 3 dunk contest that Aaron Gordon was in, because he should have won 1, 2, if not all 3 of those. But it comes down to a popularity contest. And that's why people like Kobe won, because he shouldn't have that year. But all right, stop blaming LeBron. He can't take the fucking blame for everything that goes wrong in the NBA.
Yeah, but also, like I said, the dunk contest had stopped being interesting long before LeBron even got to the NBA. So
Yeah, Vince killed it. Zach killed it. I think
yeah,
Aaron
but
killed
those
it,
were
albeit not one. I like Mac McClung last year. I'm all for the G Leaguers allowed to be in because, god damn it, is boring.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like it was sporadic,
Yeah, it was
but I'd
every few
say up
years.
until yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, and oh. Go ahead and let the WNBA players be in the 3 point contest. That little shit between Sabrina and Steph was cute, but she could have just entered the regular ass 3 point contest, and if she didn't win, she would have been top 2.
I don't understand why they can't be in the 3 point contest. I mean, it's not
I think
like
Adam
they're
Silver will get
playing.
around to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's not like they're going against each other. You know what I mean? I don't understand. A 3 point shot is, well, I guess I don't know.
And stop the skills competition. Nobody cares.
I
That
mean,
shit has never been good.
honestly, honestly, I don't care about All Star Weekend at all anymore. Like, I guess, I guess I'm too old to care, because the only reason I look forward to All Star Weekend is because I know that once All Star Weekend is over, then we're, in the home stretch to the playoffs. That's the only reason why I look forward to it.
Okay.
It's because I know that that's when I'm going to be watching more basketball.
Are y'all excited
So,
about the Trump sneakers?
Get the fuck out of here.
first of
The,
all,
the sneakers themselves are
okay,
just ugly.
But
They're
okay,
ugly.
hideous. Give me 1 second and then you can go because mine's is quick.
okay, okay.
The shoes are hideous, okay, and the premise of them um is just egregious, and it just ought to let
It's
people
downright
know, like,
offensive.
oh yeah, it ought to really let people know, especially us, those of color, right? Just what he thinks about us. You know what I mean? That he figures that him coming out with some gym shoes is gonna buy our vote. Yeah, that's it. I'm done.
I mean, I think it's cheaper just to write a note on a piece of paper and stick it to your forehead that says "fuck me up." Like, why would you wear those?
Ask
The
Fat
same
Joe.
reason why a bunch of other people wear expensive gym shoes.
Yeah, but it's not the same. Okay, it's not the same. Like if
People were buying
you
those Sonic boots. People will wear some dumb shit, but
if you're gonna put on some Trump sneakers, you're asking to get your ass whooped. That is all I'm saying.
I
Like,
think that's a
why
fair trade.
would you do that?
I think it should be on site for all people with Trump shoes on.
I mean, if you're in the right neighborhood, it's on site for if you got a MAGA hat on. You gonna put on some Trump sneakers?
If that was the case, why wouldn't it have been on site for the MAGA hats?
Well,
because
that's because they tend to stay in their own neighborhood.
Look like an idiot.
I guess.
Yeah. They tend to congregate where they know they're safe. But yeah, don't put on no Trump sneakers and then not expect to get your ass whooped, because that's all that says to me is that you like taking a beating. And you have no respect for your own money, because, as Star pointed out, those things are hideous.
Okay, in more sneaker news, I forgot what city it was in. I actually heard this story months ago. You can now go to Rent-A-Center and get you some Jordans.
Rent-A-Center is still a thing?
Yes, apparently. And I'm so sick of you marketing departments and you niggas that fall for it. If your ass cannot afford overpriced sneakers or buy the bootleg or just get some comfortable shit that's cheap, that is utterly fucking ridiculous.
Okay.
Come repossess your J's.
Why would you buy... Yeah, why would you buy sneakers from Rent-A-Center? It's bad enough to get furniture from Rent-A-Center. Like, I remember when I was a young adult, I looked at Rent-A-Center, but I'm the type that reads the fine print, right? Because I was like, because, they advertise to you and make it sound so good. Oh, it's only $10 a week. Okay.
You end up paying for the shit 5 times.
That's what I'm saying. But then you look at and then you think, okay, $10 a week is $40 a month at least, right? So then you look at the fine print and they're like 36 months. And I'm like, why don't I just put that $40 in my bank account every month until I have enough money to just buy it outright instead of paying 5 times what I would pay for it just because I want it right now. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
And that's the whole thing. People want it now.
Habits.
It's not about saving now. I want it now.
But I honestly thought that Rent-A-Center was out of business for that reason. Like, I didn't know they were still in business.
No,
there's not one locally out here. I think there's a Aaron's or whatever they are, but I don't be in the hood.
Aaron's
like that.
is still wow.
Now that's who I didn't know was still in business. Aaron's.
They still out here.
Still in the league.
Hey, clearly they're generating plenty of profit. Because even after you have overly paid for your stuff and miss a few payments, they just take it back and run it to somebody else.
Adios.
Right. Yeah. Or sell it to somebody else, because they used to have them liquidations where they would sell all that beat up stuff that they had taken out of people's houses.
So here's my thing about the whole Rent-A-Center thing, right? It's the same reason why, it's that predatory lending basically type thing.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why people take credit cards that are 26, 28, 30% interest 30. Because they really have, no other options for getting what it is that they want right then and right there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And that's it. Rent-A-Center's been doing stuff like high price stuff like that for a long time. They started, well, I don't know. Thank you. I don't know what they started with, but I remember taking someone up to a Rent-A-Center to make their payment while I was doing my short stint with Lyft driving. And I had to go in there to use the restroom while I was waiting on there to make their payments. And they had like this display case, and the display case had like Coach bags, Dooney and Burks, and I think there was PlayStations, and I was like, "What the
Yeah.
entire?"
Yeah.
I know a few
And
people were
that was
Rent-A-Center
several years
PlayStation
ago.
2s.
You said what?
I remember a few people had Rent-A-Center PlayStation 2s.
Yeah.
And they're still paying on them to this day.
If they ain't been repossessed.
But I will say
Man.
this: it's funny. I had one thing from Rent a Center when I was exiting a relationship. I had some financial challenges, and we split some stuff up, and I needed a couch or whatever. Keep in mind, it wasn't that I wasn't going to pay them. I just was a little late, and no, I didn't call them, whatever, whatever. So anyway, I had moved. I moved, and when I say I moved, I didn't move like a couple of miles away. I moved to a whole nother city. I moved like one, two, three, four. I moved 4 cities over. And I was planning on paying them that Friday. It was so funny. I hadn't even been there 10 days. And I was planning on paying them that Friday. And that Tuesday, when I came out to go to work, they were at my place. They
Wow.
had found out where I moved to. I was and I don't know how they did it, because here was the thing. Even though we had a lease together, he was still staying there. So in the place where I was moving out from. So there was no need for me to let the office know where it was that I was moving, like for what do you call it, security deposit refund or whatever.
Mhm.
And so I didn't even tell the office. I could even understand like if I had told the office where I was moving to. And I had said to my ex, I said, "Did you tell them?" He was like, "Of course I didn't." And I believe that he didn't. I
Yeah.
really believe that he didn't. And I
I
don't know
believe
how
it
to have it
too.
on him.
I believe it too, because I think they probably have some really good private investigators that they use to track down people like you.
Well, I wasn't not gonna pay them though.
I'm
It's
saying
hard to
I
explain
didn't mean
that
that
to
as a
them.
pejorative. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've
When I
heard it
said people
before.
like you, I meant people who missed a payment.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Um,
I'm like, y'all
so
called the private investigators out real freaking early.
yeah.
Also, to this day, I still don't have a couch, and I'm fine with that because I don't want you motherfuckers visiting me.
Mm.
Uh-uh. You don't like
Yeah.
visitors.
Mm-mm.
I mean, we all, yeah, you can tell which ones of us are antisocial because you don't have a couch, and my voicemail is in Spanish because I don't like people leaving me messages.
That's a thought. I'm going Chinese.
Yeah. Yeah, I put my voicemail in. I can't tell you how many times people are like, "Well, I tried to call you, but somebody speaking Spanish answered," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Mm-mm.
And
that's
then you
crazy,
get
isn't
people
it?"
like me who know a little bit of Spanish, so it doesn't deter me at all.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't leave me a voicemail though, because we
No,
don't
I
No
have
one
don't
who
really.
loves you
accommodations
will.
either.
You said no one
Well,
who loves you will?
Yes.
that is so
What is wrong
untrue
with leaving
because
voicemails though?
voicemails are
Everybody
so
has
annoying.
caller ID. The only thing worse than leaving a
Exactly.
voicemail is calling somebody right back 30 seconds after they didn't answer the
Yeah.
phone.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
that's the
Yes.
one that gets on my nerves.
Yes. But yeah, my mom used to leave me voicemails all the time. And so at some point I stopped like clearing them off. And so my voicemail got full
Yeah.
so that she couldn't
Listen,
leave a
my
voicemail.
voicemail is still full.
Yeah. Well,
I
see,
love
you
that
don't even
Google
like people
Assistant
leaving you
screen calls
messages.
for me.
Yes. Yes. That too.
Take that, iPhone users.
Take what?
Like
Well,
if I
take
get
that.
calls from a random number, there's a button I can press on my phone that says screen call, and basically Google will answer the phone and be like, "Hey, who
Oh
are you and what
yeah,
do you
yeah,
want?"
Yeah, who are you and what do you want? Right? Yeah, yeah. And to be honest, I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's a Pixel or if it's through T-Mobile or what. But
Nah, it's a Pixel thing
T-Mobile.
because most of the people I know with Samsung phones don't have it.
Well, no, Samsung phones don't have Google Assistant. But
Ah,
what I'm saying is that like my work phone is an iPhone through AT&T. I get spam calls all day, every day on my work phone. On my personal phone, never. I don't
shit.
get
My personal phone,
them
I get like
folks
10
don't
a
get.
I
day.
would say you're lucky.
Yeah, well, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's T-Mobile. It may be T-Mobile that's doing it because sometimes I'll look at my phone and I will see that somebody left me a voicemail, and I'm like, but I've been
Oh, it
sitting
never
here with
rang.
my phone the whole time and it never rang. Yeah,
Yeah, mine does
because
that too,
if
but it
they,
still gets some through.
yeah, I don't get any through.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't get any.
I should set it up
Like,
to where any unknown number it just does that, but I have customers calling me, so
yeah, I
assholes.
thought about doing that, but yeah, the same reason. Like, there are people that call me from unknown numbers sometimes, and yeah.
I get spam callers so much, and I don't know what it is now, but I guess there's a uptick in how. Well, I'm not going to say I guess. I know that there are. There's an uptick in the housing prices over here. Um, I get at least 2 calls a day on a regular basis, um, asking me if I want to sell my house.
Oh, I get those calls. I mean, not two a day. During COVID, I used to get them constantly,
Really?
constantly. Oh yeah, during COVID, all the time. I mean, people because they could just look you up on the property rolls or whatever, and they, yeah, during COVID, they were calling me constantly, just checking to see if you were in thinking about selling your house. No, I used to get them from realtors and just from people, right?
Yeah. Calling
Yeah,
concerning
but
the property at. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah. Now,
come
yeah,
on.
yeah, now most of them were like actual people, like even the realtors that would call, like I wouldn't get robocalls about it, and I
Well,
still don't
they've
like
advanced.
like yeah, the occasional one that I get is an actual person asking.
I didn't get any during COVID. This just started
Oh
like maybe 6 months ago.
my goodness, during COVID, I got so many, it was ridiculous. Yeah, people, and I would get mail. Like, people would just randomly leave letters in my mailbox. Some of them would send them through the mail, and some of them I could tell just put it in
Drop
my
them off.
mailbox.
Like, oh,
Yep.
that's a nice house.
Yeah. Constantly, people asking me if I was ready to sell my house.
Wow.
Okay, hold on. What's the timestamp? Yeah, we're pretty close to the end anyway.
What are
um,
you giggling about?
huh?
What are you giggling about?
My participation in this. Um, we don't have time for much more topics because shit just goes on and on. If you like the show, tell friends, tell
Wow.
foes, tell hoes, tell everybody you know. We here every week doing this for you. It is the Threesome Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, the Threesome Pod on X. Wherever you're listening to this, odds are you could leave a voicemail message, hit up the email, like, rate, subscribe if you feel like it.
Peace.
Anybody walking a dog?
Oh, I didn't know you were done.
Drugs are
But
bad,
yeah,
okay?
I'm gonna I'm gonna finish watching this half of basketball, and then I'm gonna go walk the dog. So,
Poor dog gotta wait for you to finish.
Call Peter.
well, he's not ready to go yet. Usually I walk him late so that he can sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Good night,
Yeah, he's
sweetheart.
not ready yet.
It's
Trust me.
time to
Trust
go.
me. My dog advocates for himself. And if he was ready, he would let me know that he was ready. Yeah,
I
that,
get
that
it.
dog is not. Yeah, that dog is not shy about asking for what he wants
I get
in
it.
any capacity. You know, you know my dog. If my dog wants you to pet him, he don't care what you want. You're gonna pet him, right? That is just how he is.
Yes, he can be
But all right,
aggressive.
very. All right. Well, I'll let y'all next week.
Pieces.
Bye.
Adios.